Hey everybody, Kale here. Welcome back to the channel. To start, I want to just make mention of a few shifts that are going to be taking place. So I have a very strong intention to deliver more concise readings, and as part of that, I'm keeping it to 3 cards, a 3-card pull. Okay, and I'm gonna give just the straight, direct message. Okay, and also for those who did not hear the previous update, that I'm also integrating some Hermetic Kabbalah in this. So there's going to be a blend. Some of those things I'll specifically point out. Some of them may be more obvious, and others it's just going to be in the mix with this particular tarot deck. Okay, and this deck is Tarot of the Witch's Garden by Sasha and Nataša Ilínčíć. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in and get started. So our first card, we get Justice in reverse. Okay, we've got Justice in reverse, and this is the card of cosmic balance. Okay, this corresponds to the Hebrew letter Lamed, which is the oak's goad or the shepherd's staff, and that also correlates with teaching and prodding toward alignment. Okay, and so we have this card, this Justice and this cosmic balance, as the path from Gevurah, which is strength, to Tiferet, which is beauty. So again, we've got justice and cosmic balance as the path from strength to beauty. Okay, Lamed is the instrument that directs movement and teaches through correction. Justice is the principle that reorients things towards balance. It brings the severity of truth into harmony of rightful order. And so straight away, I think we're getting that we're looking at where can we rebalance right now in our own lives. Okay, it is calibration, it's calibration, moral and karmic alignment, and the correction that restores symmetry. Okay, the correction that restores symmetry. In its upright form, okay, it's truth made clear, accountability, cause and effect, balance, ethical clarity, the sober recognition that actions have consequences. Okay, and then in its reverse form, which is how we pulled the card, all right, we've got denial, unfairness, self-deception, and avoidance of responsibility. Okay, this imbalance may be external, but this card often asks, where are you not being fully honest with yourself? And I would also give a follow-up question, which is, what area of your life needs more balance or needs more truth, more correction, more order, and restoration towards symmetry? Okay, and again, that honesty and that truth is kind of the cornerstone of this card and of that shift. Okay, as the shadow expression of this card, we have self-righteousness, denial, harsh judgment, imbalance masked as principle. I think that's a great one to pay attention to. Where are we living in an imbalance based on a narrative and based on a story that is based on principle or some element of righteousness that is actually causing an imbalance? And perhaps an inner moral code that needs revision, perhaps an update. All right, the soul lesson with this card is truth liberates, but only when faced without distortion. All right, so this is the confrontation with truth, and that truth is what sets you free. It's what liberates. Okay, in love, this meaning is accountability, honesty, karmic balance. Let's see, loyal commitment. No, that's a different word. What does that say? Sorry, I can't read my own writing. All right, well, we'll come back to that. Let's see, the need for clean truth in the bond. The need for clean truth in the bond. Legal commitment, that's what it is. I'm so sorry. So it was in love, accountability, honesty, karmic balance, legal commitment, and the need for clean truth in the bond. And I think given what the rest of the pull is, the need for clean truth in the bond might be a key one here. Okay, the spiritual initiation with this card is accepting that alignment has consequences. Okay, and this is a painful truth. This is a painful truth, and why we often opt to avoid that truth and avoid confrontation, avoid the truth telling, because we are aware that alignment and truth has consequences, and perhaps we feel sometimes ill-equipped to handle that or navigate that, or we're just, you know, we don't want to deal with what that is, you know, and perhaps we don't have the capacity to deal with that is at a certain moment, and so then it's like, okay, well, what does need to happen in order for the truth to come out? This lighting, I'm so sorry, y'all. Here, let's try this. With the moving branches and the sun where it is, it's a little tricky. All right, again, that fear of consequence. So Sasha writes, justice is a reminder of personal vision and responsibility. Self-determination self-determination regulates the rules you live by. Every choice creates a ripple effect, every action a response. All right, also the message of trust the inner compass of truth. Okay, so that's what we've got for this card, right? This is like anchoring us in the reading today, and the rest of it is going to correspond and correlate with this. All right, so this is the main thing that we have is justice. Now, our next card that we pull is the Page of Cups. All right, the Page of Cups is the Dream Weaver. The page is also more of a youthful energy. It's clearing and exploration, and cups are that relational consciousness, okay, the capacity to bond. And so we've got a clearing and an exploration as it relates to relational consciousness and the capacity to bond, which again, we go back to, you know, confronting the truth, the clean truth, within the bond, right? And what is that, and how that's restoring balance. And so that relational consciousness capacity to bond is related to feelings, intuition, love, and spiritual connection. All right, again, where do we need to be honest with ourselves, and is there dishonesty that's getting in the way of aspects of our spiritual connection and a connection to self and others? All right, other messages here, other correlations here with this card are gentle emotional emergence. All right, sensitivity, artistic openness, intuitive messages, the willingness to be moved. I think that one is a big one, the willingness to be moved, the openness and the receptivity for shifting and change, to be influenced and to receive and to move forward in that, and allowing ourselves to be moved and changed and transformed. All right, the beginning of feeling as communication. Okay, and to me, that begged the question of what feelings are being avoided and denied. If feelings are the beginning of communication, first with the self, our feelings are telling us something, right? They're informing us of something, and so that's the beginning of communication with self. And then how does that relate to the communication with others? You know, and those feelings against towards others are sharing our honest feelings with others. This dang sun. I love the sun very much, and all right, sorry, I'm gonna keep shifting a bit. The willingness to be moved. Here we are. So and perhaps again, whatever feelings are being avoided or denied are perhaps creating this imbalance. All right, perhaps the feelings that are being avoided or denied are creating the imbalance. Okay. Another message that comes with the Page of Cups is trust what is felt. And so I think this goes into a deeper aspect, and given the youthful energy, this is the connection I see, which is a tendency towards dismissal of feelings that originated in childhood, or perhaps a tendency toward dismissal of intuition that originated in childhood, okay? So a dismissal of your true thoughts and your feelings, a dismissal of your full expression or true self, right? A dismissal of your intuitive nudges and feelings, okay? And this, again, may be part of what has led to the imbalance, okay? Because in childhood, you know, we may fear, and often do fear, that our truth, you know, and our alignment has consequences, you know, and perhaps then there's aspects of doubt, right? Of self-doubt that may be in there. I think sometimes the self-doubt comes because of that fear, and so we immediately have like a fear related to like our true feelings, and that fear then like leads us to then start doubting that because we don't want it to be true, or we don't want to face it. I think that is a possibility that exists, and I think other times, you know, there may be other reasons for an insecurity or self-doubt. But again, in childhood, we may fear that our true feelings, our true and full self, and our actual alignment has consequences. And again, those consequences are often too large, too big, too devastating for a child to hold. it's too much. It's too much to hold, let alone, you know, it's like the capacity to really hold that and walk through that. Children are capable of so much, and there's stuff that, again, given the need for survival, right? Like, that influences things. Like our fear of loss there, and our fear of what might happen, is a direct threat to our survival. Okay, and so we do what we have to do to survive, and we train ourselves to dismiss or to shut down certain feelings, thoughts, expressions, all right, in order to survive. And so we train our nervous system to shut that down. And we say, like, I must deny this in order to live, in order to survive. And so in adulthood, it's not like our nervous systems all of a sudden changed. You know, our nervous systems are still carrying with us that message of, I have to deny this in order to survive. Now, you know, in theory, the situation has changed. There might be aspects of survival, depending on your situation, of course, that are kind of replaying that, like, well, I can't be honest here because that would threaten my survival, that my livelihood, whether somehow it's job or career related, or it's partnership related, and with what the financial situation is there, whatever those things are, that narrative is alive and well within that space. And other times, our survival is not actually being threatened, and it just feels like it is, right? And so again, we deny our honest and true feelings, and even our intuition, because we're afraid of where that consequence is going to lead, and that our survival is going to be threatened by it. And so I think that a good vast majority of the time in adulthood, like, that's what we're working through and releasing and healing, is that we are actually safe, and training our nervous systems into safety and to trust our honest feelings, our truth, our intuition, our full expression of self. All right. So as I pull the next card, I'm going to do another shift, because here we are with our willingness to move, not my willingness to accept the lighting situation. Yes, here we are. Whatever. It's you know, life, nature, which I love tremendously. So, all right, so we've got that in our Page of Cups, and then we welcome in our final card the Nine of Wands, which is the card of daring. It's the card of daring, okay? And nines are completion, and wands are the creative impulse, the desire to act. Okay, that's ambition, vitality, direction, and initiative. Okay, and so to me, immediately, that means, you know, again, the completion, the creative impulse, the desire act, the desire to tell the truth, actually, the desire to honor your true feelings, and, you know, and that may be needed to bring about the completion, right? You being honest about yourself, your feelings, your thoughts, your full expression may be exactly what's needed to bring about the completion of whatever situation is at hand, you know, and perhaps, you know, on another end, perhaps there's a reality that it's about simply telling the complete truth, telling the full, whole, and honest truth, okay, and that the completion itself is directly related to truth. So again, telling the complete and honest truth. Okay, the poem associated with this card, Sasha writes, bravery radiates through the skin, fiery triumph courts the wind. The easiest way to lift the curse is to always do the hard thing first. Okay, and in this situation, given our spread, I'd say that's telling the truth, or perhaps it's being honest with ourselves about what that first thing is. Right? Either way, here we definitely see honesty and truth. Again, this is all about bringing things into balance, restoring symmetry, moving from strength into beauty. Cosmic balance, justice, is moving from strength into beauty, okay, and bringing back that symmetry and alignment. All right, so again, being honest with how you feel, being honest with what's true in front of you, confronting what that hard thing is, okay? It says, the Nine of Wands appears when a wish, work, or desire brings one to a new plane of existence, okay? And I would insert, or perhaps a new level of truth-telling, okay? Bringing you to a new plane of existence or a new level of truth-telling. It is a rich territory that has always existed. And I'd say a correlation there, like that pure honesty, that pure truth is a rich territory that has always existed, that true self, that true knowing, okay? Yet it is the first time the individual has been granted access, And I see that correlation being the first time, again, it's the first time you've been granted access. I see the correlation as the first time that you find yourself capable of being able to tell the truth fully, to accept the truth fully. Okay, that you're ready, you've reached a certain point of healing, or you're ready for a certain type of healing. You're strong enough now to embrace the truth, to live the truth, to tell the truth, to confront that truth. Okay, that's what I see in that message. All right, and then other messages related to this card are: arrival comes as a result of perseverance. Okay, perhaps it's making it through that truth telling. All right, being able to move with the truth. Another message is: everything a person could desire is often available if it is recognized in other forms and shapes. We've got another message of: elemental fire reduces qualities to their essence, all right, to their purity, to the core truth of a thing. It says the true nature of a thing is recognized. I love that. A true nature of a thing is recognized. We've got seek shelter in safe places. Again, that's going to more relax your nervous system. You're going to be able to be your honest, true, and authentic self. You might feel a greater ability and capacity to share honestly in a safe space. Let's see, the magic you seek dwells inside of you. All right, that truth is there. That truth is inside of you, and the capability of accepting, sharing, and telling that truth is also inside of you. All right, and then the last couple messages are breaking boundaries. This makes sense here. That new level of truth telling, stepping into unknown territory. Again, we had that covered here earlier too. That new level of truth telling, that pure honesty realm, and experience, and again, the first time you're capable of doing so. And experience breeds confidence. Again, this gets easier over time. The more you get used to this level of honesty and this degree of truth telling, this degree and level of confrontation and accepting truth and sharing that truth, it gets easier, and your system gets used to it, your body orients to it. There's integration and embodiment that takes place, and it is a process. It is a process, but a worthwhile one, right? It's one that's going to restore to the upright, restore to justice. Okay, it's going to restore that imbalance. All right, again, it's that path from strength to beauty. Okay, there's gold in this process. There's meaning in this process. There's something on the other side of this process that is liberating, right? And that's restorative. Okay, so that's what we have today, folks. That's what we have for our cards. All right, again, we had that Justice in reverse. Bing, bing, bing. We've got the Page of Cups. All right, paying attention and allowing for those feelings. Those are communicating something. What are they communicating, and how do we share that with others? And again, this daring card, and being brave to be and step into that full truth telling. Okay, and again, we're restoring. All of this leads to the restoration of justice and cosmic balance, strength to beauty. Okay, Gevurah to Tiferet. Awesome. That's the reading. And let's see, do I want to do this? I feel like that's not, we're saving this. We're going to save it. That feels complete. That feels absolutely complete. Okay, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and I will see you in the next one.